Hey there. All right, so in this video, I'm going to talk about some things that I don't know if I still have shame around them. Maybe I do because I'm a little nervous to share this, but it's behavior that I did when I was struggling with binge eating, and some things that I did that I'm not really proud of, and some things that I did that I hid from others because I was embarrassed about my eating habits. And I think it's very important to shine light on these because so many people do them and so many people feel shame around them. And a big part of shame, releasing shame, is sharing. And shame and secrecy are fuel to the fire of binge eating or disordered eating behaviors. So I figured, let's get it all out there. I'll probably make you feel really normal if you've done any of these, because many of our clients have too, along with myself. And I'm also going to talk about like how to shift some of these behaviors to really set you up for success too. So, okay. Whew, here we go. So I think this one's an easy one for me because this is, I feel like this is a little bit more common. Then I'm gonna like share some things that actually affected the people in my life that I think those are the ones I'm a little nervous about. So, okay, some more common things. Just in general, eating in secrecy and embarrassment about what I was eating, which I think is very, very common for someone who struggles with binge eating. For me, I had built this identity around being this person of health and fitness, and I worked at a gym and all of this stuff. So having this eating behavior, I felt like there was something wrong with me. I felt like I was broken, but there was also this urge inside of me that felt impossible to say no to. So it's like, I felt like I had to satisfy this, but I didn't want anyone knowing that I was. So let's say I, snuck into the pantry and ate a box of cereal bars, right? Like I would never just throw the wrappers away in the trash. Like God forbid someone saw that I ate cereal bars, right? So I would take paper towels and I would wrap up all the wrappers and I would like hide them at the bottom of the trash can. Same with wrappers in the couch, same with wrappers in my car. I felt like there was a time where there just were wrappers everywhere, and then it felt like okay to do in the moment because when you're binging, you're in this haze, but like waking up the next day and realizing that I was in this like secret hiding stuff everywhere, or getting in my car and just seeing kind of the aftermath of the damage that I did, or the fast food bag shoved under the seat because I didn't want anyone to see them and I didn't have time to get to a trash can before I got to where I was going. That didn't feel good the next day to wake up to. So that was a big thing for me. And there was a lot of eating in the car. There was a lot of eating in private. There was a lot of taking advantage of the moments when no one was around. So let's say I was at a party or get together. There would be some strategizing sometimes of like how I could get out of the situation to go eat. Because instead of just like enjoying the appetizers or the cake, right? I would say no to the cake in front of everyone. I would say no to the appetizers in front of everyone. And then I would think like leaving early, I'm going to stop here and here on the way home. And so instead of being present in the moment and enjoying the moment, I was strategizing my binges. So that was a big thing for me. Was there was a lot of plotting and there was a lot of planning, there was a lot of strategizing. And yes, sometimes these urges just happened, but for me, the urge would abruptly happen and then there'd be a lot of fighting in my head. And then after it switched from I realized I wasn't gonna win, it would be like this obsessive figuring out how to get food. And sometimes I would do things that were really out of character to get food. So I definitely have eaten a lot of roommates' food. Sorry to any of my roommates. And then like I would try to go restock the stuff I ate, but I wouldn't tell them, which is kind of odd because of course they would know. So I have a feeling that they probably just knew that I was eating this, but didn't want to say anything. And so if any past roomies are watching, my recent roomie, Dev, I didn't do this. I definitely told you if I ate your food. But past roomies before, that was a thing. And I'm sorry. I should probably send you like a $500 gift card to a grocery store. But yeah, it was this compulsive thing that was just really hard to say no to. And I know they would all understand now, but I just wish that I told them what was going on, right? Instead of having this sneaking going on. Definitely in relationships did the same thing. So let's say I was cooking for a significant other or a family member or something like that. I would be making this healthy food, and then the moment they left the kitchen, I would like inhale everything I could before they came back in. And because I'd be embarrassed to eat anything more than like a small controlled portion in front of them. And then one thing that I actually haven't talked about publicly, and I need to reach out to him, I'm going to after this video, is I was a part of a coaching organization where I was actually training and coaching other health coaches. I was the head health coach of a company, and I was still wildly struggling with binge and emotional eating. Not the big scary binges on like 5 fast food orders, but maybe like binging in the Whole Foods parking lot on cashews and granola, right? So it got a little healthier, but it was still there. And I remember I had really bad problems with my thyroid and adrenals, and there was a coach that was helping me come off the thyroid medication and so forth. Now, I don't think I should have came off the thyroid medication so quickly, considering the havoc that was happening with my body, but I did not tell this coach I was still binge eating because I was afraid to lose my job. So I lied or hid the truth because I was embarrassed. And I gained so much weight. And I do believe I gained weight because I came off my thyroid medication abruptly, right? That was part of it. But a huge part of it was the binge eating. A huge part of it, right? And I never told him that. I just blamed it on the thyroid. And I know for him, I was probably one of the first clients he had that kind of struggle with. And I bet he beat himself up a lot for it. So I'm gonna call him, or I'll probably message him after this video and ask him to watch this video and just say sorry. And then I'll probably say sorry by message. But I have to imagine that he had a lot of self-blame for the weight gain and the health complications that happen through our coaching. And I wasn't fully honest that I was struggling with binge eating because I was so nervous and so afraid to disappoint the leaders of the company I was working with and to disappoint him. And I was just truly ashamed of my behavior. So I have forgiven myself for these things, but that one feels a little iffy because I haven't actually cleared that with him. So I just decided on this video live, I'm like working through this with you live, that I'm gonna do that. But I just wanted to make you this video. I'm sure there's other things I did as well. There was so much plotting. There's so many like sneaky things I did. There's just so many, right? So I'm making you this video to hopefully help you feel a little more normal about some of this behavior if you've ever done this, and just explain that it's not your fault, that you're not broken. When you are binging, there typically are these patterns that are created in your brain, right? And your brain gets almost dependent on the binge because it's been rewarding the binge with certain chemicals, and your brain gets used to these chemicals. If you add in dieting or restriction, your brain is invested in making you eat because it feels like you're not getting what you need. If you typically binge then restrict, your brain gets very protective and is going to lead you towards binging more because it is nervous that it's not going to get the food that it needs. So if you add in any type of dieting or restricting, even if you're just thinking about dieting and not doing it, combined with repetitive behavior over time that's become very programmed into you, binges become almost like this habitual thing that feels so automatic, like they have to happen. And they hijack your brain in ways and have you do things that are out of character. When you study the brain, you realize the part of the brain that's activated when you're binge eating is not the beautiful frontal part of your brain where all your joy and your happiness and your morals and your values lie, and your goals and your dreams and your forward thinking. It's a very primal, irrational, and I don't mean you're irrational, this part of your brain doesn't have higher thinking, a rational, impulsive part of the brain. And I'm not gonna say it's food addiction at all, but it does inspire some behaviors that you might see an addict do, right? Like for me, it is, I would never condone stealing. Technically, eating roommates' food and lying and not telling them is technically stealing, right? It had me do stuff that was out of character because of these, what felt like insatiable urges inside of me. Now, I will never fully blame that because I'm a firm believer that we all have a power within us, right? To overcome these urges, overcome these cravings. But here's the thing. If you're just using willpower to overcome them, most likely they're going to almost always win. You have to actually go through a process so these cravings aren't as intense, right? And you have to go through a process to bring your higher brain and higher self more on board so you have the strength to get through this. You have to get out of that primal survival mode and really set yourself up for success so you can change these behaviors. Now, there is not 1 ounce of that stuff left in me. I do not consider myself an addict. I don't think food addiction, like you're always gonna struggle with this stuff. You're always gonna have urges. You're always gonna binge. You're diseased with binge eating disorder. I don't buy that at all in any way, shape, or form. There is not anything inside of me that's gonna go drive me to take someone's food and binge eat, right? I have healed and worked through those parts of me and worked with my brain and body to set my brain and body up for success. So they are not gonna drive me to do things like that anymore. And no matter how long you've struggled, no matter what kind of behavior you've participated in, right? You have everything you need inside of you, everything to get to the other side of this. This is not a willpower problem. You are not crazy. You are not broken. This isn't that you just need to get more disciplined or find the perfect meal plan. You gotta shift this stuff from the inside out and set yourself up for success so you can get to a place where you don't ever have to struggle with this stuff again. I am a testament. So many of our students are testaments that this stuff is possible. And if you need help, if you need support, if you need guidance, please go to the link in the comments or the description just below this video. I gotta think of what training I'm gonna put in there that kind of corresponds with this. I wanna give you our craving cards, right? So if you're feeling these compulsive urges, these craving cards are absolutely phenomenal. They're a little PDF to support you and make sure you have step-by-step things to shift cravings instantly. I even walk you through in demo videos how to use them. They're gonna be so helpful for you. So click the link, go download that now. And I would love to know in the comments, if you have the courage, so to speak, to share. Do any of these behaviors sound familiar? Did you do any of these? I definitely know I probably did more. I'm just kind of blanking on which ones are. And I want, whether you go get our craving cards or not, I just want to let you know that, shame and secrecy are fuel to the fire of this stuff. So I'm not saying go binge in front of people and all of that, right? But if you can bring any eating in front of others, like for example, enjoying some ice cream with someone or enjoying a meal with someone or indulging with someone, right? Not in a checked out, disconnected, screw it, I'm just gonna start over Monday indulgent. I mean, enjoying a meal and grabbing something, like step out of your comfort zone a little with eating in front of others. Really normalizing wanting a cookie was a big part of my process of healing. Like normalizing that I could eat a salad and get French fries and not be embarrassed about it was a big part of my healing, right? And it's interesting because so many people, whether they struggle with binge eating or not, have like weirdness around their food. So as you are that leader and bring more into the present in front of others, then they're lifted up and they feel confident enough to be open about their stuff and their behaviors too. Because everyone at some level has usually had some kind of stuff with food. Not everyone, but a lot of people. And if they don't struggle with food, they struggle with something else. So you sharing your story is gonna set everyone up for success too, and set yourself up. So once again, get those cards and those demos below the video. They're free if you want them. Please let me know in the comments how much you liked, if you liked this video. I'd be really interested to see your feedback and know if this helped you. So all right, sending love. See you on next week's video.